Thank you, everybody. It is a thrill to be here. As Troy said, I work for the Sierra Club. Community organizing does not come new to me, but certainly this issue, it's like, why do I have a stake in this game? Well, I care about love just like the rest of you, and the ability to love who you want to love and have those kind of rights that we all enjoy. That's why I did this. Also, when I saw the night of December 20th, when the ruling was passed by Judge Shelby, I was up late and perusing through the online stuff going on, the social media, and I saw what our governor had said about Judge Shelby being an activist judge, and I said, no, that's not true. We can't let that fly. And I thought, why not just create our own petition to give people all across the state and all across the country a voice to stand up and say, no, Governor, let this stand. And that's all I did. And this thing has just exploded to the point now between my petition that I started and Matt's position, we're at roughly 58,000 signatures. 58,000 individual actions who have said no to the state of Utah trying to challenge this ruling. That is really a big deal, and I want to be very specific and point out, if you go on to either one of the petition sites and look through all the pages, you will see that roughly 85 to 90% are from Utah. This isn't from out of state, but we have people from every state in the union also signing the petition. But by and large, the largest majority is Utahns. So thank you so much. This is great.
Thanks, Tim. Oh, man. Oh, I'm so excited and nervous, and this is such a wonderful day. My petition, it's kind of pales in comparison to the other one. It's kind of supplemental. But I'm going to take home around 20K this year total, okay? My guess is there's a lot of you who are here whose paychecks will be a lot higher than mine. But how many here are going to make $2 million this year? Nobody, right? Last in education is how much we're spending per pupil in our state. And have you guys been outside and breathed in this air? I drove up from sunny St. George. I got out of the car and I was like, oh, I feel like I've been smoking a pack a day for like 10 years. But we're spending $2 million to rip apart my family. I just got married in August. I had to leave the state. And now the governor wants to tear my family apart using money that I paid him, working very, very hard, that you paid him, that all of you guys paid him, and gals, and everyone else. And I'm just so glad that we could be here, and I'm so happy to see everyone here. So yeah, make sure you sign the petitions if you haven't already. Tell the governor that there are way better things we can spend $2 million on than hate.
Thank you, Matt Jacobson and Tim Wagner. All right. Okay, also, I want to do a big shout out to 90.9 FM KRCL. They donated our speakers today. Always long-time supporters of equality. Also, if you see people walking around with these signs, if you have brought letters and photos that you want to give to Governor Herbert, find someone walking around with this sign and give it to them, and we will hand deliver to Governor Herbert your stories, your letters. All right? Thank you. Our next speakers, okay, they are 1/3 of the plaintiffs that brought forth the landmark case Herbert v. Kitchen. They are local business owners who operate Laziz Middle Eastern Spreads right here in Salt Lake City. Please welcome to the stage Moody Spatey and Derek Kitchen.
Dear Governor Herbert, it was good for Utah when Judge Shelby struck down Amendment 3. It was good for our national reputation as a community of diversity and of acceptance. A majority of Utahns embrace acceptance and respect. We stand before you today, 58,000 strong, representing love. We realize that you believe you are defending the will of the people. But do you know what? It's been 10 years since Amendment 3 passed, and the will of the people has changed. I kindly ask you to reconsider your decision to appeal Judge Shelby's ruling. It's too expensive, and it hurts too many Utah families. Your hurtful choice not to recognize those 1,300 families is unprecedented and damaging to our state. We urge you, Governor, to stand beside us in the March for Love, the most primal of family values. We may not get your full endorsement of gay marriage, Governor, and you may not show up to my eventual wedding, although you're surely invited. But let me ask you this. Do you want to go down swinging in a losing battle? As a fan of small government, surely you understand our frustration with the state meddling in our lives. Why not take a page from Chris Christie's playbook, if I can say that, and embrace Judge Shelby's unambiguous ruling instead of wasting our tax dollars? This is an opportunity for you to be brave. It's time for you to embrace equality and to stick up for minority groups in Utah. If you stand for one thing only, stand for love. Gay and straight, young and old, faithful and non-believers alike, we stand here today unified under the banner of love and compassion. And there's room for you under this as well. So I ask you again, join us in defense of liberty of love, and let it stand. Thank you.
So I have never given a public speech in my life. And when I was asked to speak today, I panicked a bit. Yep, there we go. Before I continue with my speech, I have to say, I have stuttered my whole life, and so this is a very big feat for me personally. So bear with me as I give my... So much history has been made in the last few weeks, and so many lives have been changed, and so many firsts have come out of Utah. So I don't know where to begin with this, whether it's Judge Shelby's rulings or the thousands of couples that got legally married in Utah, or the simple fact that we got 2 weeks to experience what true equality feels like. It's a lot to take in, so I want to share my personal story because we are all here to share our personal stories directly with Governor Herbert, because I believe that he can be compassionate towards our families. Governor Herbert, you don't know much about me, so I'm going to tell you a bit about myself. I was raised in Lebanon, and through a series of events, I found myself in Utah 7 years ago. It was a tough time, and I was worlds away from my family and loved ones, but I promised myself that it was only a short amount of time before I was rejoined with the ones who I love, before I had the chance to go back home. And I was right. I did go home. I went home when I met my partner, Derek, in late 2009, and his family welcomed me with open arms. It was the first time since my evacuation to Utah that I felt welcomed and loved, and so I decided to stay here in Utah, my new home. Derek and I have been together for nearly 5 years. We were actually planning a wedding on our 5-year mark this coming fall, but as you know, that won't be happening. We've traveled to many countries. We started a business. We adopted a dog. We wake up at the same time every day and we sleep at the same time. He's been with me when I am sick, and I've been on his side when he was sick as well. He traveled with me to my home country twice to meet my family. And just this past month, in an act of selflessness, he gave up on buying a new pair of eyeglasses for himself when his broke to pay for my dental fees. He was willing to go blind to subside my pain. And that is what makes us a family. Just like you. Just like you, Gary, I love my family. But unlike you, Gary, I cannot exercise my constitutional rights with the family that I love. I ask you to look at me and to look at all of us here and tell us that our families are less deserving than yours. That we do not deserve the right to freely and legally love whomever we choose. We all stand here with open hearts and open arms to ask you, Governor Herbert, to let it stand. Thank you.
Moody Spaney and Garrett Kitchen. All right, we're going to take this case to the 10th Circuit Court, and we're going to take it to the Supreme Court of the United States. All right. If you are big social media people, take photos and hashtag Let It Stand. Include Governor Herbert in it. Put it on Facebook. Put it on Twitter. Show all of Utah, everybody who's here today. All right.
Let it stand.
Let it stand. All right. Good. All right. Our next guest speaker is a lifelong heterosexual. He's a Utah resident, a Harvard philosophy dropout, a music journalist, and a zombie anthropologist, and an LGBT ally. Welcome, Jeremy Cloward.
If you could wait until I'm done, I have a lot to squeeze in. Here's the part of the YouTube segment where I say, and I'm a Mormon. And I am definitely in the right place. I want you guys to know I have no dog in this fight. I have nothing to lose. But I am here because of who I am. Maybe they will listen to me because they haven't listened to you. I said don't do that till I'm done. Okay. When Thaddeus Stevens, he was a senator, and he said, in trying to abolish slavery, I hold that all who walk upon our soil be treated equally and fairly according to the law. He said that at the time he was illegally married to his black housekeeper. The trials the nation was facing at that time are far more significant than what we are looking at now. What he was facing was the destruction of the American economy and the complete shaking of the moral, spiritual, and social infrastructure of the United States. We got over it. We survived, we thrived, and now we have the unthinkable, a black president. Who I didn't vote for. What we're looking at now is far less troubling to the nation. Okay, we're not up against anything that's going to destroy people. All right, we're peaceful about this. But we need to realize the threat to families is non-existent in this. Okay, there is no threat to my heterosexual marriage, to my family, to the moral fabric of this nation. It doesn't exist. So what I'm thinking is, When the government says that they are putting a restriction on love because of gender and they're stopping marriage because of gender, that is something as foolish as them trying to regulate something as intangible as love. They can't do that. How can you quantify love, something that you cannot touch? If you were to look at me and my world of U2 music, I love them. I've seen them 45 times in concert. I have photographed them and I have met them. That is a measure of my love for U2 music. The state has no comment on that. They have no interest, and they don't want to regulate that. So why do they want to regulate other people's love for something between each other?
Good point.
So this is the hard part. You guys don't know my friend, but you know her story. When she realized that she was gay at a very young age, she knew she was going to face a very difficult life of loneliness. She was a teenager, and she knew it was coming. She had faced abuse, exile from her family, being the butt of so many people's jokes, and at one point a straight guy raped her because he thought it was his job to teach her a lesson. You guys know the story, you've heard it 1,000 times. The worst thing for her was when she realized she knew she would never be able to marry the woman that she loved. The law was going to keep her from doing that. On December 23rd, she married the woman of her dreams. And for 17 days, they were happy and they were citizens. They were full citizens under the law and protected by all constraints of the law. And those were the most wonderful 17 days of her life. When I met the woman, when I decided I wanted to get married, there was 2 very difficult steps in front of me. First of all, I needed to find the woman that I loved, and second of all, I had to convince her to marry me. There shouldn't be a third step for anybody. You've done the first 2. My only wish right now is that the state of Utah and across the country, that the quote from Thaddeus Stevens will be realized, that all who walk upon our soil will be treated equally and fairly according to the law. Thank you, everyone.
Jeremy Cloward, all right. Okay, folks, marriage is huge. Marriage is a very important thing, but there are also other big social issues that concern us and that concern LGBT families. So I want to welcome very quickly from Equality Utah, Max Green.
You all look so beautiful. And so do you. My name is Max Green, I'm from Equality Utah, and I just came to tell you that we know that because of this marriage conversation, the opposition to all of the progress we've been able to make in this state, they're mobilizing right now. And they're coming together to find ways to fight the other things we're working towards in this state. Housing and employment, non-discrimination is what I'm speaking about specifically. But we know that we've changed this before. And if we come together as a community, we can change it again, and we can stop the opposition from causing more harm, from codifying hate, and from amending our Constitution again to make it bad for all Utahns. What we're doing is on Wednesday, we're coming together to phone bank, to call all over the state, to make sure people are contacting their legislators to tell them how you feel about non-discrimination in our state. And if we work together, we can make discrimination a thing of the past. So Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Equality Utah offices, there's several of us walking around with clipboards. Find us, sign up to volunteer, and join us in ending discrimination once and for all. Thank you.
All right, Max Green, Equality Utah. Okay, our next speaker, I'm excited about this one. All right, our next guest is someone that we've all watched grow up for a while now. He's a 6th grader at Salt Lake Center for Science Education. I'm guessing that means he's pretty smart. He has 2 mommies and a 7-year-old brother, Casey. He plays the piano. He's an actor with the University of Utah Youth Theater, and he likes computer programming. Welcome, Riley Hackford Beer. and Casey.
Hello, everybody. I'm here today to talk about love, family, and equal rights. My moms met 17 years ago when they were in college. They had a commitment ceremony here in Salt Lake City in 1997. Lots of friends and family came, but it didn't make them legally married. When I was in the first grade, I heard on TV that same-sex couples could get married in Iowa. So I begged my moms to drive us to Iowa so that they could get married there. My moms explained to me that the marriage would not be legal here in Utah, and that they would get married only when they could do it here at home. So some people do not believe that I'm from a loving family because my moms are gay. They are wrong. I love my moms, and my moms love me and my brother unconditionally. And come on, think about it. Gay means happy, so it only makes sense that we're a loving, happy family. Sometimes I felt really scared that my moms weren't married. I imagined being taken away from one of my moms. At school, we talked about things we hope to see during our lifetime. I always said I imagined my mom's getting married in Utah. On December 20th, it happened. I saw my moms get married in Utah. It felt like fireworks bursting in my heart. It was the second happiest day of my life. My first happiest day was when my little brother was born.
You couldn't have scripted that.
The funny thing is, nothing really changed. We're still a family, and we all love each other. The only difference is that they now have equal rights. But Governor Herbert wants to treat my moms unfairly. He says he wants to protect families. But I want to tell him that my family deserves protection too. I have two moms, and I love them. And they deserve to have their marriage recognized everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Give it up for Riley and Casey Hackman. Next generation is in good hands. I'm feeling good about this. All right. Our next speakers have one of the most important, and are you listening, Governor Herbert? One of the least funded jobs in our state. They are high school teachers. They met, they fell in love, and on December 20th, they were married in our home state of Utah. Welcome Candace and Megan Barrett.
I don't know how we're supposed to follow that. That was beautiful.
My name is Megan Barrett.
I'm Candace Green Barrett.
We were first married in New York City on June 29th, 2012.
We were one of the first couples to get married here in Utah on the 20th of December.
When we heard that marriage equality had finally come to Utah, we dropped everything and ran to the courthouse.
Because for us, being legally recognized in our home state is much more than a piece of paper.
We have a daughter together.
I'd like you to meet Quinn.
We want our daughter to have both her parents legally responsible for her.
Governor Herbert, when you take away legal marriage, you are taking something precious away from our daughter.
You're taking away the dignity of our family. You're taking away her security in troubled times.
We want you to know exactly what it is that you're taking away from her by denying our marriage rights. When you take our legal rights away,
you're taking away her right to have both her parents on her birth certificate.
You're taking away her right to have either parent make medical decisions to save her life in times of emergency.
You're taking away her right to have both parents at her bedside if she is ever hospitalized.
You are taking away her right to be under either of her parents' health insurance.
You're taking away her right to have joint parenting or visitation of non-biological parents in cases of divorce.
You're taking her right to hold both parties and parents accountable for her financially with child support in case of divorce.
You're taking away her right to have family tax benefits to get her more economic income and support.
You're taking away her right to have the claims of inheritance if one of her parents dies.
You're taking away her right to have both of her parents held legally responsible for her care, emotional support, and happiness.
And some of the things that you take from her are not quantifiable on paper, such as feelings of dignity and security.
Governor Herbert, you say you want to protect children. Then start with ours.
To be protected and loved, not only in our home, but in any time of trouble.
Gays are going to have kids.
We plan on having more kids.
We are building families.
Governor, you can't stop that.
You can't stop us. You can't stop us from creating families. The only thing you can do is take rights away from kids.
I repeat, we are going to continue to create our families with or without your support. The only thing you're doing is taking rights away from our families.
We love our families and we cannot allow this.
To the LGBT community, we have to let people know exactly what they're taking away from us when they take away our marriage rights.
Come out of the closet. Tell your families, your friends, your co-workers.
Times are changing and public opinion is leaning in our favor, so give it a push.
Stand as an example of our community.
Get personal. Tell them exactly what they're taking from us when they take our rights away.
Make them look you in the eye.
Because for us, it's all about her.
Our daughter is precious, Governor. And if you really care about our children, you'd help us protect her.
Thank you.
Candace and Megan Barrett, legally married in the state of Utah, December 20th. All right, let's wrap this party up, folks. Now, occasionally people, well, first off, next week or 2 weeks from now, we're going to be celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King here in this state. And sometimes people ask me is who do you think will be the next Martin Luther King? When do you think that the next Harvey Milk will rise up? And here is what I believe. They never died. They live, their blood, their passion, their spirit, their soul lives in us, lives in you. We are here to carry on their dream, their vision, all of us together. All of these great Americans are with us. Their fire burns in the blood that I see. I see in all of you. I see in you the legacy of Sojourner Truth, Mother Jones, Dr. King, Bayard Rustin, Cesar Chavez, Rosa Parks, Rachel Carson, Chief Seattle, Sylvia Rivera, Harvey Milk, and so many others. They live in all of us. And every day, they're pushing us forward. Every day, they keep nagging us, prodding us, reminding us our work is not done. Their work is not done. And it's our job, our responsibility to finish the job. Now, there are some who say they want to preserve first freedoms for a select chosen few. But our work is to expand the freedoms for all people. So no, Governor Herbert, our work is not done. We will not remain silent while Utah families are oppressed. We will not back down while LGBT families are suffering. We are standing together, united for the cause of justice. And of Judge Shelby's ruling, in one voice, we say to you, this is the place, let us stand. 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 Thank you, thank you, thank you. But you're not off the hook, folks. Go home, tell your stories, call Governor Herbert, call your elected leaders. We are working, we will bring full federal equality to all 50 states for LGBT Americans. Thank you.